In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to earn tons of money inside of the Forge before the next brand new update. As you can see, I've gone ahead and completely depleted myself of my cash, and I only have around 50,000 left with some of the best pickaxes in the game. However, you will not need these in order to even be able to make a lot of money because these methods are insane and it's obtainable to majority players. If this video does help you guys out, you find any information that you may have not known, please go ahead and feel free to subscribe. It means the world to me, but let's get right into it because we got a lot of things to go through. I feel like by now, most people already know, obviously, the best way to make money. What has been, I guess, the best way is by standing here inside of the ice peak and then just basically killing these NPCs over and over again. That way you earn a lot from killing them, but also you earn a lot of, essence that you can sell. Now, although this was a pretty good method, there is some things that it lacks with, especially considering what we got in the most recent update. Just to show you, I did actually go ahead and test this thing out myself. If I go ahead and use all of my essence and I place it all into here, you will see this is going to earn me quite a bit of money. And I'm not even going to put the other ones just because I don't think you can really earn these, or they're not a lot, so it doesn't matter. But just with those, I can earn already $400,000. For this update, one, you're going to need a lot more than that, and $400,000 is going to be very obtainable in the methods that I'm going to go ahead and show you. Now, there's actually two methods that I'm going to show in this video. One has to do with mining, and obviously the other one has to do with using your weapon and killing mobs. In terms of mining, you want to go ahead and try to get your best pickaxe. Obviously, there is a progression guide of going to the aqua pickaxe, then the snow pickaxe, then I believe the frost pickaxe, and finally the prismatic, then the dragon head if you want to do that. But necessarily, you do not actually have to get this dragon head pickaxe because there is one very big disadvantage of it, and it comes with placing shards. Don't get me wrong, this is actually the best pickaxe inside of the game. The new Heavenite one doesn't actually become better because it low-key sucks. But the only bad part about this dragon head pickaxe and the Heavenite too, technically, is that this thing is so expensive to put ruins on. If I want to put any ruin on it, as you can see, I have to pay the price of 400,000, which we really don't want to be doing this. If you already have a lot of money, I actually highly recommend you do not do this. And if you barely have any money, I also recommend you don't do it. However, if you have enough just to get 1 or 2 ruins on it, I don't mind if you guys do that. I genuinely think it's worth it because not only can you use it to get things like the stolen heart that will eventually let you, finish your quest of getting the armor pieces. I believe this heavy leggings piece gets unlocked for that. So it's not a bad thing. However, you do simply want to get a pickaxe. It doesn't have to be too crazy. But the other method that I'm going to show you involves obviously a weapon, and I do have multiple that I've gone ahead and made. This one was the original that I am still using right now, and I actually made this a while ago. However, as you can see, this is gargantuan, so obviously it's not the cheapest thing in the world to make, and I'm not going to ask you guys to make something with gargantuan because we already know how ridiculous those odds are. But if we scroll down over here, I have some other ones that I have made. One, I got these eyesight ones, but I think that's too old. However, some of the most recent ones I have made is this thing right here, this Surya Fall gauntlet. And this thing is actually insane. The reason why this is so good is because of one specific ability that it actually has on it. And that is the ability to freeze enemies literally endlessly. No enemy can actually get to attack me here. As you can see, I just freeze them and there's simply just nothing that they can do here. It's so overpowered. But this is very beneficial when it comes to actually fighting the bosses, which if you don't know, every boss defeat, I believe, gives you like 20k. I haven't actually checked on this, so I do want to test that out. But let's go ahead and defeat the boss real quick, and currently I have 17,000. But as you can see, he literally cannot do anything to me. Occasionally, 1 or 2 hits might get off, but it's completely fine because it is not actually enough to, fully kill me. But here we go, 5,000, 3,000 health, and this guy's basically cooked. There we go. Not only that, yes, we did get 32,000, but we also actually got some really good stuff, such as a golem heart and some tier 2 runes. This is what I actually recommend to make, especially if you're trying to, you know, get some runes on your pickaxe, which I am going to obviously show that for a method. But this allows you to get Miner's Shard 2 runes, and I actually got a ton of these. They did buff the chances recently, so it's very beneficial to go ahead use it. And yeah, as you can see, I got a ton. However, only like 2 of these actually have 2 traits on them, so you definitely want to wait till you get those. If you're wondering what method I used to do this, all it literally took me was 2 golem hearts, which you get from fighting the boss, 3 void stars, 3 Surya falls, and 1 eyesight. And then what you want to go ahead and do is basically it's actually gonna give you this one ability on your weapon called the ice one, and it has a cooldown of 1.8. However, to be able to actually get it to where it's good, you have to go ahead and place some of these frostpeck runes, which I have right here. That basically increases its chance of hitting, the length that it lasts, and the cooldown on it. But it does not actually take extra time for it to be applied, and you know, the enemies won't be protected from it. This is not only just a very good boss weapon, but it is also good with killing the enemies, and particularly one enemy that does have a method inside of this video, because in case you didn't know, farming in this little area is actually not the best. It's been a theory that this has been the best for a while. However, this is somewhat slow depending on what enemies you actually get to spawn. And some of the worst enemies you can get is these crystal golems. Because look, if I try to go ahead stun these guys, it takes time, and they are able to do tons of damage, and well, I have lost most of my health. I do have the lifesteal ability, which you guys should definitely be using in order to do this. However, the absolute best area to farm, and you can literally just AFK only inside of this area, but it is actually fighting these golems, or I guess yetis over here. For this, you can obviously use something like I did, the Surya Fall. You know, we got increased attack speed, increased crit chances, all that good stuff. Personally, I am gonna go ahead use my Gargantuan because I have Drain Edge on this, which is something we actually need. As you can see, Drain Edge basically heals a certain percent of physical damage dealt, so this is what's giving me the lifesteal ability. It's very overpowered, and I've been using it with stuff that has, you know, 2 things on it. So basically, if I go ahead group these guys together, I can deal damage to them without actually dying. I literally heal from attacking and sitting in the middle of these guys. And as you can see, every single time I kill them, I get around, I believe, anywhere from like 800 to 1100. The developers did actually go ahead and nerf it in the most recent update. However, it's still very beneficial, and it's a very lazy type of grinding that you can do, because you're able to literally just watch YouTube or literally do anything, bro, and just swing over here. Yeah, as you can see, it's 550 to 1100 actually. So yeah, the developers did put a pretty big hefty silent nerf on it, but it's still very, very good. I don't know if they actually nerfed the other stuff over here. You know, crystal golems still have their health. However, the reason why I don't like this method is because the crystal golems slow you down with their little like spinning ability, and the elite orcs don't actually give you too much crazy profits. I don't know if they were nerfed or what, but I could have sworn they were better, and I think genuinely fighting the yetis is significantly better, because not only do they respawn faster, but you're also able to actually get some resources from these guys, such as the yeti hearts, which you can use for crafting. They're actually really good. But yeah, I literally grouped these guys up and boom, just start swinging, bro. I am max health basically 24/7 while I'm swinging over here. And there we go. As you can see, I just got a yeti heart. The yeti heart has a pretty good multiplier, so if you actually go ahead and make a full armor set out of this, you can also earn a little bit more cash, but that does take a little bit of time, so don't be too focused on this. Now, I should mention, if you do not have lifesteal yet, actually killing these enemies is better. And like, let's imagine you die. It's actually better to get eliminated inside of this game and run back all the way over here rather than waiting to heal up. Yes, believe it or not, healing up in this game literally takes longer than just running back all the way over here and finishing off the enemies. Now, on the attacking side of things and fighting mobs, in the newest update, we obviously had access to that little island very far off into the distance, which you can actually access by this ferry operator. But if you have Archangel or the Angel race, what you can actually do is dash to this island by quickly hopping up like this, and sometimes you will still die, but this basically allows you to get to this island without actually having to pay a coinite in order to travel. Sometimes though, I will say, especially while I'm recording, I do mess this up, but there we go. Boom, we made it with barely any health left. I believe the better your armor is, the easier that actually is to do. But if we actually head on down over here, you will see 2 NPCs that will provide you with quests. These guys are very good for making money until you finish all of it. Now, I should mention the Mass Strangers quest is actually infinite, so there really is no finishing. But the other quests, which I don't know if I actually have here, yes, the Maze quest, helping the Angel. There is actually 3 of these, and I'm currently on the last one. But finishing these gives an amazing amount of money, and you do this by simply just killing the guys around this maze, which is really not good for grinding. However, you will notice how much money we're gonna get once we finish this. Until you have all of these completed, I don't actually recommend going for any other methods, because this is currently the fastest way to make money in the game right now. The Mass Stranger NPC that I showed you guys though at the start of the map gives you this thing called the Pirate Raid quest. I actually am not sure if I currently have it. Yeah, I forgot to pick it up, but you can only do it once a day. It's very good for money as well, but so are these maze quests. So if you haven't done the maze quest, do it and come back every 24 hours from the time that you complete every Pirate Raid quest to do it again. It gives you tons of money. We started this video like 15-ish minutes ago, and as you can see, I've already made 48,000, which this can be actually made even faster. And if you're wondering how much money each quest gives, or well, I actually don't have the amount, but if you're wondering what the requirements for each quest is, here it is. Obviously, Maze Quest 1, you have to kill 20 Skeleton Pirates, 2 Cthulhus, and this progressively increases through 2 and 3. And the Pirate Raid is repeatable, and it's actually the exact same every single day. Keep in mind, though, you do actually have to keep coming back to the NPC to, you know, collect your money. So once you finish your quest, make sure you come back to the NPC. But on to my next method, and that is mining. Although this is a bit more beginner level, this actually allows you to AFK when you need to and still be able to earn some cash. Inside of the back of the Peak Cave, there's obviously this area that you can actually mine, and with this most recent update, this is quite a lot better to do because they actually completely decrease the health on these ice crystals, and it's probably like, it's about like half of what it used to be, and it's ridiculous how much easier it is to actually break them. If you go ahead, pop things like a luck potion and a miner potion, not only are you able to get yourself a bunch of really good ores that you can use for crafting, but you can sell things that you don't need, such as the Velchires. These guys are pretty useless. But yeah, man, I just break the crystals so fast. Same with the frost fossils and like the tidal carves. They're very good to sell. Well, not to sell, but you know, forge into some heavy chestplate armor and then get rid of it. So basically, I'll just come in here, throw a bunch of things in there and, you know, forge it. All right, once I had through some eyesight in this thing because I had a lot, so I didn't mind getting rid of it. But just to show you how much this one single piece of armor is going to be worth, it is quite a lot, bro, and I didn't really use any resources that I would possibly need in the future. They're simply stuff that don't really provide very great perks. So just to see how much this gives us, come on, boom. You want to try to get as perfect as you can, you know. If you get masterwork, that'll give you the full value. But right here, as you can see, oh my god, bro, not only does it do 400 damage, meaning it's better than my current armor, but it also does $17,000 if I sell it. And if you obviously get a better variant, you know, better stuff, better pizza, Papa John's, whatever type thing. It's just so insane how fast you can break this stuff, bro. Oh my gosh, it's so good. Obviously, don't rely on this too much for making money. This is more so beginner level if you're newer to the game, or if you actually just, simply have to go somewhere and you need to AFK grind. As you can see, actually, according to the best money making method by professionals in this game who basically test the game and, are quality assurance people, and they basically drop these tips. But with the peak mobs, if you grind it, literally the method that I came up with, or well, this first part, killing all the mobs, that was already known, but I did mention you should kill the 2 yetis and return to the same path, do it all over again, blah blah blah. And if you have full endgame gear, this can earn you up to $800,000 per hour. It's really insane how overpowered it can be. But I hope this video was able to help you guys out in some shape, way, or form. If it did, please go ahead and watch this one on the screen right here. I went to picked it for you myself. I really think you're going to like it, but pick it fast. This video is about to end. Until then, I'll catch you in that video. Bye!